right. We're going to get tonight's program started, so if I can have everybody quiet down, thank you. So good evening, thank you for joining us for another talk in our series, Conversations with the Past. I'm Maureen Folk, I'm the Outreach and Program Coordinator here at the Chapman Museum. I'm excited to introduce tonight's speakers, Mark Simpson and Joe Ryan. Mark Simpson lived in Scroon Lake lives in Scroon Lake with his wife of 37 years. They have 2 kids and 1 grandkid. Mark has spent a lot of his life hiking in the woods and certainly climbing the high peaks that we love in the Adirondack Mountains. In recent years, it's been more enjoyable to hike lesser peaks or bushwhacks in and around the hills of Scroon Lake. You can come on in. We've got a couple seats in the front. Mark is a trail master with the club, which involves a lot of time for organization and full-time every other weekend for outings. Mark is also on the recognition committee with the club, and he volunteers with lean-to rescue as time permits. Joe Ryan lives in Saranac Lake and has been a 46er for 28 years. And actually today, the 13th of September, is the 30th anniversary of Joe's first high peak. Yeah. Good day. And that was Mount Marcy was his first peak. He has served as the director of the organization on 2 separate occasions, and on the executive board, Joe coordinated the Trailhead Steward Program and has also served on a number of committees. So please join me in welcoming these gentlemen for their talk.
Okay, if I do a Mitch McConnell, you just go blank. I'm not a public speaker and I usually stop here. Okay, 46ers, when they planned on doing this, they wanted to send somebody with intelligent, articulate, and knowledgeable. They couldn't find anybody with even one of those traits. So they sent Mark to me. They asked us this afternoon. Okay, I was going to start this off with questions. I can pretty much see what the answer is going to be, so I'm going to change the question. How many people here aren't 46ers? Oh, a lot more than that. Okay. Actually, these 2 back here became 46ers yesterday.
Yeah.
The rest of you was part of 46ers. Okay. This is our envelope. There.
Yay.
Did you notice the difference in value? We give back. You give 146 hours of your time. You get the gold badge on the outside. You also get to put Z after your number, similar to the W for winner. Okay, this is our 75th anniversary. It was almost missed. It was kind of slow. I had been for Suzanne, and probably would have remembered that. Okay, we're more than peak divers. We give back, but we do have some peak divers. David Senecal, how many peaks do you climb?
Oh, the Adirondack, it's about 730 or something.
Yeah. Okay. Back in 1948, May 30th, 20 people joined the Adirondack at the Adirondack Lodge to discuss making the organization. Thing is, that's 20 people back in 1948 for about 15,000. What's your number?
15,000, 2,207, and 15,208.
So that's up to date. They didn't just.
Last night we got this.
Thank God for that new system. Saves a lot of. Now, we celebrated our 75th at the Queensberry. That was also where we had our spring meeting. Had set up for a photo booth type of thing there. As I said, it's wind, the one on the lower left hand side, it's one design. Sticker, yeah. Okay, there was a Glens Falls connection. Does anybody know who this is?
Russ Carson.
Very good. Russ Carson was a insurance salesman in Glens Falls. He was also a Rotary. And for the Rotary meetings, he would take and talk about one of the mountains each time that the Rotary met took place. And he ended up writing the book. The peaks are basically what Carson had put in his book. It would have been a little short, to Dan correct me if I'm wrong. The Marshalls missed 4 peaks. Okay, Carson corrected, we'd all be 42.
Harder to say.
I want to point that.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob Marshall, Bert Clark, George Marshall. They're number 1 in the center, number 2 over here, number 3 there. They were the first ones to find, and they finished in 1925, started in 1918. I know Suzanne gives a presentation, I heard of her part thing. Talking about what it might have been like to find back in the days. Totally different. And Herb used to just take and look at the distant point and just go. And he would find his way to the top. That's why the trails are so hard today. You always need it there. You can put this time straight off. There's Carson there, he's in the Adirondacks. He never became a 46er player. He was the president of the Adirondack Mountain Club. There's Russ Carson, Group Clark, and that's Charlie West. I know who Charlie is. His name's Charlie West, I don't know. You have any idea, Suzanne? Okay, I'm assuming he was in Glens Falls and hiked with Russ. That's all I can tell you. I know his name. He's in a lot of the pictures. This is Russ Carson's book, Peaks and People of the Adirondack. I have a copy of it up here. I actually have a copy of first edition, and somebody scribbled their name in it. Russell Mac Little Carson. I didn't bring that book. I keep that. Carson and Marshall's communicated back and forth by letter. They didn't have email, social media back then. We did want to take 46ers tried to get a peak in the Dick's Range named Carson. We were also trying to get one named Grace Peak. And needless to say, this one didn't really go through, and hopefully in the near future somebody will push it again to get that. You don't need all those mountains to make Dicks. That was South Dicks right there. That's supposed to be hers. And in fact, most of the people refer to it. Okay, the Adirondack experience is where the letters between Carson and Marshall is located. It's in the library. You have to take and make an appointment to get in there. I've gone in there and spent a whole day this week. It is amazing. It's such a part of history. I mean, you're actually get the whole of the letter. I mean, and there again. Guess where that picture was taken? Anybody? Vermont. See Vermont now. Okay, there's a correspondence program. It used to be a snail mail program. Grace Hodowski was the office of the historian and the correspondent. When it got to be too much of a burden for the office of the historian, Mark and his son revived the program electronically. But Grace was also the historian. Here she is at her typewriter. And most of the letters that she typed, she did on the typewriter. This one's a letter she forwarded. She never had a computer or anything like that. She wrote a lot of letters. I would send one on a Saturday, and there's times I got it back on Tuesday. That's usually in the summer, which is cold. There she is with boulders. Pretty sure that's a boulder tree, but. Now, on August 26, 1937, Grace Hodowski became the first woman 46. By the people. And she still likes a little bit after. They did name, excuse me, they did name East Sticks, Grease Peak. They had to because I've tattooed on my leg say Grease Peak. Okay, going to the history, basically. That one, and that one are all ones that Grace edited, correct? That one there was done by that lady. The newest and most comprehensive. These other books can be found in different places. You know, Facebook, whatever, eBay. Some of them go for a pretty good price, sometimes you get a deal. Okay, we run different programs to help educate 46ers. Outdoor skills workshop. It's held in the spring each year at the Adirondack Lodge. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now. It's so popular, people break in your show.
She's prepared for the spring.
They talk, give lectures during the day, different programs. And they end up on Sunday climbing Mount Joe. It's a great program. Go to our website. By the way, I got cards up here on Adirondack Forty-Sixers.org. When there is any questions you may have after this, go to the website. I'll get the trail crew. That's Mark's baby, but I'm going to speak on it. They build clean tubes. That's one of our new directors. They carry stuff. You notice you don't see Mark around there. Got from into there. That's the reason.
Yes. That's one of my slides too.
Okay. They built bridges.
We should have communicated.
And they work on trails. And one of my favorite ones is that's John Sasso. He always looks like that. Even when he's not. That's me, Jackie. They build outhouses. That is actually what they call a thunderbox. It's a outhouse with a view. Pete has what, 2,000? Over 2,001?
You'll find out in a few minutes.
I guess, okay, we'll get off this. We'll go to the Trailhead Steward program, that's mine. You got anything to say about that, Mark?
No, not much.
We work on bringing people to trailheads. We have a trailhead at Cascade Quarter and one at Meadows Lane. This little girl here is learning how to bury in the woods. She had a blast. That was during COVID, so we're all wearing that. I apologize for some of the pictures, they didn't come out clear, and I didn't have time to change. We sit at the trailhead, people come up to us, Cascade especially because there's so many new people, they really need some direction. Meadows Lane, not so much because we're pretty much experienced. Another Glens Falls connection, it's Francis Willis from the Gourmet Cafe down the street. It's another grid.
Not quite.
Not quite.
He's working.
He's working on it. He's up there pretty good. Okay, this was, what it looked like on, what was it, Labor Day. And that's just one direction. We didn't take a picture of the other direction. We saw a lot of people. It was a beautiful day and people were out. It was amazing. See how many people. That says 432. It was actually 532.
Yeah, we finished
Okay,
that.
when they got it done. He was on duty that day at Meadows Lane. That's how many people they engaged with that day. And 14 dogs.
I think first year we started the trailhead security, they, we were maybe not aware of it. I think on Cascade, I think we got over 900.
Yeah.
On Cascade, 7.
It's a zoo on some days. And here's a couple of our stewards. Actually, they're holding up some of their awards, which we'll talk about later. We have a very good crew. We're very dedicated. Some days they have to sit there during the work maybe. Thunderstorms are usually they last all day. So, most thunderstorms last 20 minutes, 40 minutes. Get in your car. Summit stewards have to go below the tree line. We just go to our car. We got to The very first day that we had trailhead steward duty at Cascade, I was on with Fran Shumway and Steve Shumway. This group came through. It's a bridal party. They're wearing tutus, unicorn horns, and glitter. Every single one of them was a hiker. That wasn't an amateur in the bunch. And our ranger at the time, Ranger Big Lintel, wasn't too happy. They all gathered around him and took a selfie.
That's great.
We thought it was fun. Okay, some of our projects that we do is wildlife first aid reimbursement. This is Carla Day. Carla worked across the street when it was the Travelers building. It's since moved in the last few weeks. She's no longer there. She's also a member of the museum here. And she didn't show up. She thought her wedding anniversary was more important. Then we have the DEC scholarship. Their mission is to educate individuals for proper use of the wilderness area. Each year, the 46ers goes to the schools, talk with the guidance counselors, to try to get at least 4 people to go to the team. The DEC camps are all over New York. The closest one here would be Warrensburg. The one at Lake Colby and Saranac Lake, they couldn't get the help last year. Hopefully that'll pick up again. A lot of kids that love the coaching. These guys are my heroes. Anybody that wants to go out and pick up garbage along the side of the road, they do an amazing job. There are 3 2-mile sections between Giant and ski jumps that they do. They go out once a month between April and May, I'm not sure, and November. They pick up garbage. They always get a good crew. You don't have to be a 46er to do this. They'd love to help. Go to our website and look it up. Peaks magazine. This is one of our pride and joys. This is, I think, the latest edition of Peaks. It comes out twice a year. It's fantastic. If you're not a 46er, become an aspiring 46er and you'll get each magazine. For every twice a year. Now, it's right there. I do have every single piece that was ever put out. I thought about bringing the very first one. I said, no, this I just like. Has nothing to do with the presentation. No, that's something we all put up with. I have stickers up here if you want them, you're done. I a lot of my collection onto them. Right across without a lot. Leave no trace. How many people know what leave no trace is? Okay. We have a group that teaches leave no trace, master educators. Now, these are the leave no trace principles. How many know the finger thing for that? The kiss. Okay. This is a pen, this is paper. Plan ahead. Travel and camp on a durable surface. Dispose of waste properly. Leave what you find behind. Take a picture. Don't take it with you. Minimize.
Well, we were outside.
Minimize campfire. Respect wildlife. Either that or you're I have a 10-point book. And be considerate to visit. Those are the 7 principles. You'll get an A. You didn't fall asleep this year.
No, I didn't.
These are some of our instructors, Ben, Lisa, and Min. The other 2 were instructors at BOCES. They went there this year and they taught the junior and senior class. Leave no trace for it. That's Blue. He runs the whole thing. Him and Ben are having a stare off, and Blue's gonna win. Here they are teaching our Trailhead Steward class. Sometimes you just discover things. I hurt my leg and cemetery where her part buried was a part of my house. I had to exercise. So I walked up there one day and said, we're gonna find Herb's grave. I got up there, I walked to that graveyard. And it was probably the next to the last stone where I found it. And it said nothing about her part being 46er #1. Just nice stone. So I went to the board and I said, we gotta do something. And we did. And we ended up putting a footstone there. And as far as I know, it's the only one with a 46er emblem. Herb's family was blown away by that. They couldn't believe it. That. Some of our awards, the Adirondack Experience or the Adirondack Museum used to be. In 2018, we got the Harold K. Rothschild Award for being responsible for the past 100 years. It was quite an honor. We got that's the Steward Appreciation Award. That was from the DEC. Got that back. This originally had Mark's gonna kill me.
Yeah, your days are numbered.
Yeah. And the one picture had him in it, but I just. So this is from the DEC. I'll let you talk about that later. I'm not gonna go into this.
Yeah, the picture.
And this is the other award. We got the National Steward Award 2020. We give away money and lots of it. Those of you that are not 46ers, you know where our money comes from for this? Membership dues. We pay $10 a year in dues. But that $10 a year barely covers Peaks Magazine paperwork that has to be done. So our members chip in an extra $10, $20, $100,000, whatever. This is where the money comes from. We get no funding whatsoever. We don't get any grant. State doesn't help us. We're an all volunteer organization. Nobody gets paid. So this was for the Osceola River Association. That was a boom brush down there, get rid of any invasive stuff they may have on their feet where they leave. And our favorite, we've been putting them up all over the place. You go down to 73 corridor and it's amazing. And it used to be that. None. This was a couple of years ago. For the Adirondack Mountain Club, we gave them $71,000. This year, we gave the Adirondack Mountain Club $90,000. Again, you remember, no funding. All comes from the members. I suppose somebody from the outside could give them. All goes to the professional crew. Professional crew working on the new Cascade Trail. I don't know if you've heard, but the Cascade Trail is eventually going to disappear. They originally said 2018, then in 2018 they said 2019. Tony Goodwin has changed his quote finally, so he doesn't have a date there. Or every time I talked to him the other day, and he said, "No, I'm not putting a date in it." But I did talk to one of the guys that works on it. He took and ran from being Hopenberg all the way over the border down Cascade, whatever, was running back. And he's worked on that for a couple of years. He lives in his van. This guy's nothing but possible. He said it should be done in 2 years. I'll take his word for it. He's not DEC, he's an employee. Okay. So this is basically what it goes through order and DEC. Approximately 35,000 acres go up Cascade every year. And we see a good share of it. I mean, we only steward on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and some Monday holidays. This is the breakdown. Road crew had 456,811. Summit Steward program is a very important program to protect the peaks. It's a very fragile vegetation up there. I forgot what they found last week. They found something they thought would extinct. They got didn't exist. You go up there and it looks like a little twig. People boy, they think that's all it is. It's a 300-year-old tree. So it's a very important program. Keep the peaks the way they are. Paul Smith's Life Steward program, 87,000. Other lean-to rescue. One thing that we do with lean-to rescue is we buy the logs and we send them to BOCES and Adirondack Lake, Natural Resources Plant, and Bob Vicento. From lean-to rescue, they build a lean-to which is a state. And they take it apart, DEC takes it down to the Braybrook, and eventually it's formed into wherever. Is that for years? Okay. Why don't you go down to the bar room? Okay, so since 2001, the Adirondack 46ers have donated $820,971. It's a pretty good chunk. Coming up on one. It won't be long. And you know, he probably doesn't have anything to say anymore, but I want to introduce the most influential man in the Adirondack Park.
Once again, Joe said at the beginning, we're not we're hikers, we're not speakers. So bear with us, bear with me. Do my best to go over some topics. Perhaps you know most of it. because he already said it. We did talk about this in advance and, well, he went a little further. That's okay, so I'll go over some other things, maybe I'll give you some other, items that he did not. Okay, but first, very much first, I've got a story. And please forgive me if you've heard this story before, but I find it a very delightful story, and it's true. It's a true story. So please understand the context. There, that was about a couple of years ago. 3 trail masters, part of the trail crew, went out. I think they were working up near Lamity Brook, near Taos, and they got caught in a rainstorm. And you know, they were doing their good deeds and fixing the trails, set rocks and everything. Rain coming down, rain. And they said, that's it. We're not being productive. That's all it was. Got productive. And we better get back. It's getting dangerous. We may not be able to get, maybe not be able to get home. So rain is so hard. We came upon river and raging. The 3 trail masters named by Kurt, Doug, and Parker. Okay, and so the rivers. What can you do? Oh, Kurt. Got it. Please, you know it's a true story, right? God, please give me tools I need to get home. I need to get across this river. It's down on Kurt, and boom, there's a wonderful raft and paddle. Okay, and Kurt jumps in and says, "See ya!" You got to cross the river and scattered on down the trail. Doug, he doesn't know how to paddle. He does the same things. Work for Kurt. So God, please just grant me the strength I need to get across this river. I need to get home to see the family. It's down again, takes favor again on Doug. And poof, big strong arms, big legs. He's transformed into a magnificent swimmer. Dives right into the river, gets across the other side. Parker, what am I gonna do? I can't paddle. I never knew how to swim. I'm done for. But we'll see what happens. God, please give me the wisdom I need to get across this river. God is down upon Parker. Smiles. Transforms Parker into a balloon. That's not the punchline. Parker, the woman, walked across the bridge and went home. Okay. I'm done. See ya. All right, let's see if we can work this thing. I'm gonna point at the right machine, right? This is the banner. Actually, Joe, I think, created this thing, but
That's mine. What are you doing?
no comments. You can see our new emblem there, and that's our old one. That was from we updated this thing in the sometime in the 1990s, was it? Earlier than that?
Yeah, 1948.
Well, this is the old one. That's the old
Yeah,
one.
that was the 46 Troy one.
Yeah, right.
That was 1947.
Okay.
That time period, and when the actual 46 was formed, 1948, they switched to that.
That's that old. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, so I learned. This is again a picture of Grace Peak, and I believe that is also Grace Peak. Yes. Okay. So items that I'll be discussing. I'm going to talk about Clark and Marshall just a little bit. Okay. He went into it a little bit. I'm going to discuss it a little bit as well. But because they are the first, we've had some celebrations. We had a celebration, and we're going to have another one. We'll do that a little bit. And then I'm going to talk about club giving back. Most of the funders been stolen, but I guess okay. pictures, okay? There's some pictures that you might have seen before. Interesting thing is though, and Joe did not mention it, is that a lot of the pictures, their eyes are closed, so I don't know, with shutter speed, I don't know, but that seems to be a standard in these pictures, maybe they did it on purpose.
No light.
Robert and George Marshall and Herb Clark helped shape the rules, along with Russ Carson, distinguish a high peak from other prominences. The rules used to be over 4,000 feet. Didn't apply to 4 peaks, but nothing's perfect, right? Minimum of 300 feet vertical rise on all sides. So you could have pyramid peak that has 4,000 feet, right? But it is it doesn't have 300 foot prominence, and it's also too close, which is the third rule. So what it does, you can have a bunch of bumps along the way, but they're not real peaks because they don't meet these criteria. And when they did it, they came up with a list of 42 peaks and then went to 46, and that's how we get to 46. Little side, if I might, is that I've been challenged a lot by people through the past, the club continues to be challenged, not just me, wanted to be, how to put it, they want to use 46er emblem, 46er paraphernalia for their own use. My thing is, well, make your own club, make your own club if you want to. These are just, we're a club, our rules, you want to be a 46er, go with our rules, and if you don't like it, go find your own. That's the way I feel. I get kind of hardened about that, but that's our club, our rules. We have 46ers, and please don't use it separately. Then the other thing is Clark and Marshall were the first to ascend. Clark and Marshall first to ascend these 46 peaks, and yes, as Joe said, most had no trails. So there's here I am. I'm going this way. And this is why a lot of trails are difficult and atrocious and have a lot of erosion. Trail crew, one of the responsibilities we do, along with so many others, we're such a small part of it, working with DEP, is we're working on real trail realignments, work on trail hardening, anything to make it so you're not going up a waterfall. But that's the way the trails were laid out originally, and that's why they go right up the drainage. And difficult, makes the Adirondack Peaks the hardest to climb for a long ways away. It's a lot, these are very difficult. People go to Vermont, New Hampshire, the Rockies, they still say the Adirondack Peaks are some of the hardest. Okay, the 2018 celebration. We had a party. We had a nice party in 2018, August 2018. Joe put it all together and got some assistance, but we had a full weekend of events. We had a movie night, we had a gathering, a dinner, big round table discussion with some very influential people, and we had a memorial hike of all 46 peaks. So what we did is we had people that climbed all 46 peaks. We all tried to be there at noon on top, so people had to get there early. And the idea was I actually had a plane fly over to take pictures. It was a terrible day. They couldn't even see people on the peaks. So, but we did get some neat pictures. They were there as well. But these pictures are all from 2018. Is that cool?
Yeah.
These are hikers in 2018. You can see the clouds. It got really good stuff in. These are all pictures from 2018. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I've got a lot of them. But these are certainly some of the nicest and most more creative people, and they hike like that, and they said it sucked. How did they ever do it? You know, that's my picture. Anyone see anything? Yeah, right there. So we actually we're with the Blue Line Brewery, and they actually made a beer for the event. And we had patches, I gave those out to people that did like, we had 3 to 4, sometimes 1, 2 people on air. Everyone got up there at the noon on that given day, but who knew? But they were there. We're gonna do it again, because the 2018 celebration was for the beginning of the journey. But I mentioned it started in 1918. So we're gonna do it again, 100-year celebration in 2025. Okay, and somehow I got finagled into running that event, and we're gonna find some things to do. We're gonna be acknowledging the finish of Clark and Marshall journey. Yes, they finished in June of 1918 or 1925. They can do it, but we're gonna do it in August. I think we chose August 2nd, the week of August 2nd in 2025. Keep your ears open. You'll see it on the website. It'll probably be in Peaks announced. But we're gonna have a really good time. We'll have a big. We're gonna have. I don't know if we'll do another memorial hike, whatever. We've got some good ideas cooking. I don't want to spill the beans. But it's not gonna be a party. It's gonna be a party. And I like parties. Okay. Okay. This may not work. If it is, I'm gonna have to do a little tap dance, but see how it works. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't think it is.
I tried it.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a link to a PDF. It doesn't matter, I can describe it pretty well. All it was is about 20 pages with hundreds of names of people that have given back through the years since we really kept records and organized records, and it's been through several renditions of spreadsheets. But we've got hundreds of people that have given back their own personal time in 2, 4, 8-hour segments. Giving back through trailhead stewarding, picking up trash, working on the trails, corresponding, and it's all volunteer time. It's all donated. Cool thing about it, besides being hundreds of people, is that there's a couple up there that put in over 2,300 hours, right, close to 2,400 hours. Do the math on that real fast. 8 hours a day, 2,390, 80 hours, whatever. That is almost 300 solid days, which is practically a year of your life working every day for 8 hours, giving back to the mountains. All volunteer. Say nothing with the gas, the travel, and everything. It's phenomenal. We've got 3 people about 2,000 hours, and we've got probably another 40, 50 between not even 20 people between 1,000 and 2,000, and then it trickles down. But it's still a phenomenal amount of effort given back. All of these people are nuts, like this gentleman over here, these people back here, this person right here, that person right there, and others. And it's just, these are logged hours. And to that end, I have something. You didn't see this coming, but you knew it was coming. I have something for Joe. Joe, maybe you're late, but here's your 746-hour patch. Okay. I'll get that to you in a couple of years. So it was just a spreadsheet. It wasn't going to show too much anyways. So I'm going to get into a trail crew, and here is a bunch of happy people before we went out. And I believe that's you very good, Paul. Yeah, okay, and there I am, and so on and so forth. I don't see people anyways, but a little bit about that. Yes, that is definitely before we went out for the work. We were all clean. That's Toss. That's the trailhead for Flamingo Brook to Flows Lands, and we are spending a lot of energy on the Flamingo Brook Trail, arguably one of the most the worst main trails up there. It's just terrible. If we can get the work done in the first few miles, my goal before I retire is to work up near the memorial. And this memorial, we're going to do a major trail realignment with a tremendous amount of energy, but get that trail out of the mud. It may change, so I don't get, but that's the goal before I retire as a trail master. A little history on trail crew, and I'm going to try to paraphrase this and not read it, but let's see how it goes. Trail crew actually started with Ed Ketledge, Dr. Ketledge, And when the herd started coming, 46 clubs started getting some energy and said, oh, that's the 46ers, and you're getting a few finishers per year, 20 finishers, whatever. It was noticed that people going on the peaks and trampling on fragile vegetation. So I don't know the whole bit of it. I just know that Ed kind of led the work to repopulate, bring up special grasses and try to repopulate. It is a trial, a lot of trial and error where things started taking. This is the reason, one of the reasons we fund Summit Stewards. People can have these nice rocks up here with little paint on the top of the peaks to stay out the vegetation signs, but people are people. Summit Stewards really do an effective job of keeping people on the straight, narrow path and not trampling fragile, one of a kind vegetation up there. In 1974, DEC sponsored cleanup day, more towards trail crew. There was trash on the trails. So 53 46ers carried out 303 bags of litter. It was that bad. It was that bad. You don't see much of it anymore because of the work of trailhead stewards and just knowledge. I remember having a talk 3 or 4 years ago, and they said one of the best things we can do is educate people about leaving no trace, carrying out what you bring in, whatever it is, you carry it out, and it is working. It is absolutely working. Because I tell you, you go out there, you don't see the trash. You might see somebody's corner, they're going to bar or something, but it's really working. Summer '77, first volunteer 46er led crew, led by Wally Garrett. Spent 4 days working on Lake Arnold, eliminating mud on the trail, a trail realigning. Okay, and then in '78, Jim Goodwin, which is Tony's father, led the first continual. It continued with the beginning of trailhead. I'm sorry, of trail. Thank you. Visual down. Trail crew. Okay, and since then we've been doing it continually on weekends, sometimes every weekend, but mostly every other weekend through the course of the summer from April, May on to September. We actually have one more outing on October 1st, so we're not even done with the trail yet. So just some other stats. This is my 2022 report. I'm still writing my 2023 report, but just a couple things here. 2022, we had 57 individuals, and we worked a combined of 2,132 hours over 18 work days. Okay, we do annually. We do blowdown sweeps on the Dix Trail, end to end. That's from Round Pond on Route 73 all the way over the top, and includes both sides of Dix, down Hunter's Path, down the main trail on the back horn, and all the way out Lake. So we approach it in two different days, and we try to get on Dix both times to clear below down, and we do drainage work as well. So that's what we do. We do that every year. We do that again on the Giant North Trail, and we also do that on the Whiteface. Okay. The last 2 years we spent a day working on the new Cascade Trail. Okay, he showed a picture of that, but we actually go there and we've been assisting. Our heart is in the High Peaks, and politics aside, like it or lump it, that there's going to be a new trail there coming out of the Van Hoekenberg parking lot, and it's going to be a much longer trail, but we are working together with the DEC, and we are assisting in that, and we did it again this year. We'll do it again next year. We have a women's weekend, women's only weekend every year, and it's a lot of fun. Women come out and they do some amazing things. Last year we restored some bridges on the Hot and Notch roads. This year we didn't have it; it got rained out. We had a terrible rain, and we couldn't have the women on the weekend. And then, we also spent a lot of energy both these years working on Calamity Brook. What are we doing up there? We're doing, trail hardening. If you go up there, first 2 miles, even if you just go the first 2 miles, you'll see the work that we've done, and that's happened over the last 3 years. You're walking, there's no mud, it's a nice trail now, and it's very hard, and it's all in 46 power. Okay. Sure, I got everything in support. There's yours truly, barking out reprimands. I mean, giving instructions. Okay, but you can see our various tools that we use. We use pick mags, we use cutters, we use shovels, we use sledgehammers, we use buckets, and it's raw labor. It's tough labor. It's a fun day. It's fun. You get done, you had a good time. But we have a great time. Seriously, a lot of energy. He showed a picture earlier. This is what we did this year. It was a legacy project from 2018, where the lean-to got started and there was a tarp on it. I'm not going into why we stopped, but we couldn't finish. We finished this year. We moved this whole lean-to a third of a mile, approximately a third of a mile uphill. A third of a mile uphill. Yeah, it was not from here to there. It was a long haul, and those logs are heavy. That was the day we finished. And wait a minute, that looks a lot like someone in the audience, right there. Right, Jen?
I became a roofer that day.
Yeah, actually, the roof was put on primarily by the women group. So it's kind of neat, first time doing those things, and what a great time to practice. Learning something new. It's not need to. It's really a building in the middle of the wilderness. It can survive a couple. It's a lean-to. So a great time to do that. But that was I'm so happy to have that done. That's where we're going back in October, on October 1st, stain it, and that'll finish that job off. I'm glad to have it. And we also build bridges. That's the same picture that he used, but we have done other bridges. That bridge, I don't know if I can remember where that was, but we do. We built one bridge this year on Calamity Brook. Okay, we did build a bridge in Calamity Brook. It's not that one. Last year, Steve was talking about it. That we built a huge bridge, 30-foot span in the Hoffman Notch Wilderness. I don't have any pictures, unfortunately. It was a fantastic project, and what a well through. So what we can do is it just flows the way we get the job done. It's fantastic. Here's a typical bad blowdown. Steve would go out there, he completed something in about 10 minutes with an axe. A trail crew can do it with a couple saws in about 2 hours. So that's a typical, and that's what we do. We bring out saws, and that's our blowdown sweep. 2 years ago, I believe we took out 200 trees on the trails. Something like that. That would be one tree in the path. That would count as one. This year it was closer to 100 because it just wasn't as bad a year. But whatever it is, we get it out of the way. And that is one tree. We took over 200 trees on those trails I told you about. They aren't there. And that's another picture of just taking them out. Okay, speaks for itself. That speaks for itself. We make strange faces and we get muddy and we have a great time. So there are ways, if trail crew is not for you, there are other ways of giving back. Correspondent program is a wonderful way if you are a 46er to give back, to speak to people that are aspiring. You can do the work on the picking up trash in Route 73. Certainly can use out there. Trail crew, you don't have to be a 46er, okay? But you have a trail steward and you have to be 46er, right? You have to be 46er, but there are ways of giving back, and what we do is we give out these nice little patches, and you get a good feeling outside of giving back. I believe that is the end of my presentation. You can all thank me.